there, Disney family. Welcome to another episode of For the Love of the Mouse, our new vlog series. Happy you could join us today. Today, I understand it's a little chilly down there in Walt Disney World, so we are going to talk about some great ways to get out of that weather and still enjoy everything that Disney has to offer. First up, we're going to head over to Disney Springs. Now, over in Disney Springs, there's quite a bit you can do indoors. Of course, you're going to have to walk to get to those places, so be sure to bring your poncho or umbrella if it's raining out. But let's start at Splitsville. Splitsville is the really big bowling alley located in Disney Springs. There are actually Splitsvilles located all over the country, but of course this one has a little extra Disney magic to it. And this is a great way to enjoy some family-friendly fun with bowling. Get a little of that energy out for those kids and maybe even those adults. And you can also indulge in some really great food. They've got some great food options, including some sushi rolls. So make sure you take advantage of that if you're looking to get out of that weather. Next up, let's head over to the World of Disney. Of course, this is the largest Disney store in the world, so you can find anything and everything your little Disney heart desires in this store. It's 12 rooms. I believe it's 12. It might be 13, but I think it's 12 rooms, and it's massive. You can really find anything you could ever want Disney related in terms of Disney merchandise. There's treats there, there's clothing, there's dishes, there's Christmas stuff, there's everything you could possibly want is available at the World of Disney, so be sure to check that out as well. Last but not least, we're going to head over to the Lego Imagination Station. This is a really big Lego store located in Disney Springs. You can get Legos of every single color imaginable, and you can also check out some really cool displays that have been created out of Legos. They're really cool, and for someone who's not a Lego fanatic, I'm not a Lego fanatic, but I still think this store is really cool, so I think there's a little something for everybody there. Next up, we're going to head over to Animal Kingdom. Now, Animal Kingdom is, in my opinion, best enjoyed outdoors, but I will say there are some things you can do indoors. Let's first start, though, with maybe you want to try a Kilimanjaro safari if the weather's a little iffy outside, because there's going to be less people, one, and two, this is when the animals really come out to play. They like it when the weather's cooler. Some of them really enjoy that rain, and so you might be able to catch some really cool stuff that those animals are doing on a safari when the weather's maybe not so perfect. But there are some indoor things you can take advantage of at Animal Kingdom, including Festival of the Lion King. This is one of our favorite things to do, whether the weather's good or not. We typically trade off between this and the other thing I'm going to suggest you do, which is the Finding Nemo the musical. Both of these are indoors. They're a little bit lengthy, so you're going to be able to get out of that weather for an extended period of time, and they're both really fun. Typically when we go on trips, we trade off between whether we do Finding Nemo the musical or the Festival of the Lion King. We typically trade those off. But if the weather is a little not your cup of tea and you still want to enjoy a great day at Animal Kingdom, I would suggest doing both. Why not? They're really great shows, so be sure to take advantage of those. Next up, we're going to head over to Epcot. Now, in Epcot, let's go to the land. This is a really great place where you can find quite a few things to do in one space, so you're not going to have to go outdoors and kind of fight that weather. In the land, you're going to find Sunshine Seasons, which is a food court located in the center of that pavilion there, and there's something for everybody here. So although this is not somewhere I typically suggest for people to go in Epcot, if the weather has turned and you're looking to get out of that rain, or it's really cold outside and you want to sit down for a little bit indoors, head over to the land in Sunshine Seasons. You're going to find a wide variety of food here, so something for every taste, and it's going to be indoors. Now, also while you're in the land, take advantage of Soarin'. Now, the line for Soarin' is typically pretty long, but if you're trying to get out of the weather, what a perfect way to do that than to wait in line for Soarin', or to be on your My Disney Experience app and trying to get a fast pass while you're at Sunshine Seasons. Last but not least, while we're over here, let's take advantage of Living with the Land. Living with the Land is a really great ride, and I think a lot of people either don't know it exists or really don't take advantage of it because it is educational. And so we're going to go to Living with the Land. It's a really cool experience actually, because a lot of the stuff that they grow in Living with the Land is utilized throughout Walt Disney World. All of the, during the Christmas time, all of the poinsettias that you see everywhere blanketing the grounds, those are all grown on property. Some of the stuff that's highlighted at some of the festivals, the Food and Wine Festival, the Festival of the Arts, the International Festival of the Holidays, those are grown in the land. And so you can see those hydroponic greenhouses. When you're at Garden Grill, some of that stuff is also grown in the land, in those greenhouses. Sustainable fish that you're going to find at some of the property, some of the on-site restaurants throughout Disney World are also, those fish are harvested in the land. So you're going to get to see that up close and personal, which is really cool. And you've now gotten out of that weather for several different rides and some food. So maybe by now the weather has shifted a little bit, but if it hasn't, why don't you pump up that umbrella and head over to the Figment ride, which is a really great experience as well. And usually the line's not too long, so you can wait in line while you're inside or even grab a fast pass for it. Also, another great ride is the Nemo ride, of course, and that's a really great ride as well. It's really fun, and you can also, when you get off of the ride, you can go to, my husband calls it Talking Trash with Crash, so I actually can admit that I no longer know what it's really called. I think it's called Turtle Talk with Crush. But my husband calls it Talking Trash with Crash, so that's what I know it as. But there's also the manatees are in there. You can see the different fish tanks. So there's a lot to do in there, and that's all indoors as well. Last but not least, head over to Norway and wait in line for Frozen. The queue in the Frozen ride winds and winds and winds and winds, and a lot of it's indoors. So if that line hasn't gotten outdoors yet, head over there and take advantage of that line for when the weather's turned a little bit. Next, we're going to head over to Hollywood Studios, and I think that this is a really great place to go if the weather's turned, because you can go to Walt Disney Presents. Now, I will admit, on our last trip there, I had no desire to go to Hollywood Studios because I really don't think there's a lot there right now. But I will say, it was one of the busiest parks we went to, and I think it's because a lot of people really want to see the construction that's going on, and even though you really can't see anything, it's kind of cool to be there and know what's coming behind all of those giant green walls. But you can definitely take advantage of Walt Disney Presents. It's a really cool experience, and my husband really wanted to go to it to see the different models that they had, and I'm so glad we did, because it was one of my favorite things that we did while we were there. There are so many great photos of Walt, so many different stories of how he grew up, what made him want to do Disney World, what made him come up with these ideas, and a lot of the different models for the original Disney, Magic Kingdom, the castle, some stuff in Disneyland. Also, you can see some of the models for some of the construction that's underway at Hollywood Studios, which is really cool as well as there's a couple shows in there. So you can get a lot of things out of the way and stay out of that rain or whatever kind of weather is barreling through Florida at the moment. So that's it for this post. I'm really glad you guys stopped by, and I hope this helped you plan your trip, especially if the weather turns. Never forget that it's always magical regardless of whatever the weather is. So be sure that you don't let the weather dampen your magical spirit. Thank you for stopping by, and for the love of the mouse, never forget that it all started with a mouse.